Good evening and welcome to the Cardinals Scoreboard Show. This is Trey Graham with Cardinals head football coach Matt Nally joining you for the Labor Day edition of the Scoreboard Show. We are here inside the Championship Center in the indoor field. We've told you that we're going to take the Cardinals Scoreboard Show on the road this year, a different place every week. And here we are inside. And, Coach, this broadcast is sponsored by Cardinal Carriers Express.
Oh, awesome. That's great. That's awesome.
On Fannin Road, right next door to Emmerich.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Owned by Seth and Jamie Tilley.
That's awesome.
Now, what do you need to know about Seth Tilley? Besides that he runs a really cool business where you do your mailing, your FedEx, your UPS, your Amazon returns.
Oh, dang right.
And you've probably got like 1,000 of them in your house. Everybody does, right? Yeah. Seth Tilley was the quarterback for the Pilot Point Bearcats, won a state championship.
Did he really? That's cool. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So thanks to Cardinal Carriers Express for being the sponsor of today's broadcast. We are here inside the indoor facility. This is week 2 of the season as we look forward to a game this Thursday night against Frisco High School. We're going to take a chance to look back a few days ago to the season opener, a tough loss against Little Rock Parkview. And before we even get into that game, because we're going on the road all the time, we get to show different places.
Yeah, heck yeah.
We are here inside your indoor facility, and supposedly, I didn't measure, supposedly 134,200 square feet.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
Did you measure?
No, I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea.
134,200 square feet. Yeah. Neither one of us measured it, so we'll just assume that to be true. But do you have bragging rights? Supposedly this is the bigger football and sports indoor facility than A&M?
Yeah.
Than UT?
Yep. I mean, do we have bragging rights? I think Nolan Ryan said it best, it's not bragging if you can do it, you know what I mean? Or it's not bragging if it's true, you know? So
so here we are.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, not bragging, just the truth.
So you can see part of the facility behind us, the freshman practice is going on as we speak. And so beautiful facility, weight room. You guys can see the windows right back there. The training room is right over here. And I guess you're like the second most famous person to use this training room.
Yeah.
After Patrick Mahomes.
Yes, sir. Jazz Bath. Yep.
Yes, so Patrick Mahomes, Jazz Bath, and then Matt Nally and the Cardinals right over there. And locker rooms are right there on the side of that wall. Coach's office further than that. Duke Sparks' office right over there. So all your complaints, send it to that front office right over there. So this is the indoor facility, supposedly 134,200 square feet. All right, let's turn our attention to Saturday night. It was a tough loss.
Yeah.
I said it on the broadcast multiple times. They didn't win 27 games in a row coming into your ball game for nothing. They went out with 28 in a row.
Right.
2 state championship rings. We talked a lot about how the matchup happened last week on this show, plus during the broadcast, that the out-of-state team wanted a Texas team and you needed a game, and so now we know how all that came to be.
Yeah.
What was your game plan going into the Parkview contest?
Going back to Argyle, I didn't let anybody, game plan for Argyle or anything like that. So, obviously it was a regular prep week. Preparing for Parkview, and they did some things differently. We got one film off of them.
They were 1-0. Yeah, they had played a game.
Yeah.
Before I even let you continue, is that a big deal? They had played a regular season game.
I think that obviously it's gonna help you a little bit, but. Overall, I don't know. I thought our kids came out and played really, really hard. And, they were focused from last Monday all the way to Saturday at kickoff. They were focused and ready to go. So I'm not going to take anything away from Parkview. Those kids were amazing. Those coaches were very, very well-versed in the game. So it was just an awesome experience. I know for me, and our players to play a quality team like that, just because of the fact of, I don't apologize for playing people like that. Like to me, if you can play a valued opponent, it's only going to make you calloused for December football. And to play somebody like that so early in the year, I think is so valuable for our football team. And, I made a joke with the coach, and I said, hey, man, how many kids on your team, are going to go play college football? And he said, Coach, every single one of them, except one kid, and I'm not going to say that kid, but he said one kid. And he goes, but I got kids on the bench that are going to go and play college football. So for me personally, it was so amazing that our kids played a caliber team like that and whatnot. And really, to be honest with you, I mean, they had 3 big plays, and besides that, our defense played lights out. They did some things differently on defense that it didn't show on film, so it took our offense a little while to adjust. But once our offense adjusted, we got to move the ball and do some things that Melissa Cardinal fans are used to. So, but to make a long story short, I thought they were an amazing team, but I thought it gave us a great measuring stick of where the football program is right now, where we need to, the things that we need to work on, but also the things that we're good, that we want to make great. We had some mishaps. That it's first game mishaps. The one thing that I was very proud of was when we were penalized 4 times. But at the same point in time, we got to clean up some of those penalties. But that was the one thing I thought.
You actually were the beneficiary of a lot of penalties.
Correct. And that's the one thing that Coach said after the game from Parkview, Coach Bolding. He was like, "You have a really disciplined football team," and he was like, "We are not really used to that," and blah 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 blah, and that was a huge compliment. But like I said, there's some things that we need to get better at in our penalty area, but. We missed a PAT, and that's something that bothered me more than anything throughout the weekend was missing that PAT. Like, that is something that can happen, So, and we'll get better at that, and we'll, we won't miss another PAT. So, but I thought our defense played lights out, and I thought our offense played extremely well, especially in the second half. We had to, we have new technology now, so you can look at the instant replay and you can see stuff in the booth and whatnot. So we're making adjustments quicker, and you don't have to just get into halftime to really talk to kids. You can talk to kids during the game. You just can't use it, during the game with kids, but you can see it. So it helped us to adjust throughout it, and as you noticed, we hit a little concept to Jacob Nally late in the or middle of late in the second half, which we probably could not have communicated until halftime, but based on some of the stuff that they were doing. So, and then we got to go in and make some adjustments and whatnot, and we moved the football. But at the end of the day, mistakes are mistakes, and we can't make mistakes.
6-6 hurts.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, that was a great learning point in that situation for that young man, and our OC. So it was a good situation. But once again, I'll say this again. That football team was really good at football, really, really good at football, and our football team is really good at football, and it was great to see.
You didn't ever give up.
Right.
You're known for that. You're not going to let your team lay down at the end,
right?
And you didn't. And so, kudos to the Cardinals for sticking it out against a very, very good team.
Right.
I do want to tell the audience what you and I heard. We were down on the field. You were talking with Coach Bolding, and I spoke to him for a moment and asked how he liked the new stadium. And, of course, he does what every first-time visitor walking in, looking around at Coach Kenny Deal Stadium, talking about how amazing the facility is. So, nice gentleman.
Yeah.
Very good team, as you said. So, in a moment, after we meet our players of the game, we'll talk about this week's game against Frisco. So, what do you take out of – what are the lessons learned from Parkview game?
Yeah, so there's some things that offensive line-wise that we needed to tweak, just little bitty things. The quarterback, just little bitty things with the Q. We had to switch some of our run fits in the game with our defense. And, OCs are kind of all the same. So, if a play or a concept or a scheme works, the week before, they try to implement it somehow within their scheme. So that's something our defense is going to have to adjust to throughout the week. Now, they did a great job of adjusting throughout the second quarter and the second half. But you know how it is. At OC, he's at Frisco is looking at that saying, I got a little bit of a honey hole based off of some of the concepts they ran in the first quarter and right in the middle of the second quarter that he's thinking, I got. So we're going to have to make a little bit of adjustments on that. For me personally, the physicality of it, I was so pleased overall with the physical piece of our team. But at the end of the day, like, I don't want that. I don't want us to be satisfied with, we were this or that or whatever, or they're this or that or whatever the case may be. We have got to get better to achieve the goal that we want to achieve, and that's to win the state championship.
We're going to come back in a few moments and talk about this Thursday's game against Frisco High School. But before that, we're going to let you meet our offensive player of the game, Jacob Nally, and our defensive player of the game, Jake Pusk. And before we interview those young men, why don't you comment on those two guys?
Yeah, it's this group's a little bit different for me because I had these kids in in elementary school when I was doing PE. So it's really fun, to watch a kid start in elementary school and grow up, and now they're a senior in high school. So first off, we'll talk about Jacob Nally. What a kid that burst onto the scene last year, and then is kind of, after week one's kind of I'm the guy,
Scored every one of your points.
Yeah, but and people talk about Jacob Nally as a player and whatnot, and I say this all the time every year about Melissa, and I'm fixing to say the same thing about Jake Pusk, but Jacob Nally is an unbelievable person. When you're out there coaching kids and you're doing that and you're a player, that's a big deal. But Jacob Nally is going to grow up to be a great, great man. And then Jake Pusk, same thing. Watched him grow up. He is a great football player, but golly, that kid is going to be a great man one day. And he is going to, whatever he does, he's going to be super successful at. But once again, going back to both those kids are unbelievable teammates. If you had a poster of what a Melissa Cardinal is supposed to be like and list their attributes out, those two kids would be on the poster. So you did a great job of picking those two kids, but at the same point in time, their parents did a great job raising those two kids, and we're glad they're Melissa Cardinals, not because of just the player that they are, but the people that they are.
We're going to let you meet Jacob Nally and Jake Pusk right after this. This is Trey Graham with Matt Nally on the Cardinal Scoreboard Show. Remember, join us on Sunday mornings at First Melissa, 9 a.m. or 10:15 a.m. Go to firstmelissa.com, and we'll be back to the indoor facility at the Championship Center right after this. Welcome back to the Cardinal Scoreboard Show. This is Trey Graham joining you from the indoor facility here at Melissa High School, and we get to introduce you to our offensive player of the game for the season opener against Little Rock Parkview, wide receiver Jacob Nally, wears jersey number 9, senior, and congratulations on being our offensive player of the game.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
10 catches, 189 yards.
Yes, sir.
3 touchdowns.
Yes, sir.
And a 2-point play.
Yes, sir.
So you don't have to say it. I'll say it. Melissa scored 20 points.
Yes, sir.
You scored all 20 points.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What was your game plan going into the Parkview game?
We knew they're going to be fast. They're going to be athletic. I had to use my body, get off of them, and just go play ball.
And the later game adjustments. I mean, that's really when you did most of your damage was later in the game. So what happened between the beginning and the end?
I think my quarterback just started to trust me. I just kept telling him just to trust me, and I'll take care of the rest. So
a lot of it looked like a little bit of boxing out, little basketball stuff.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So you were just outsizing them?
Yeah, just using my body, doing my thing. Yes,
okay.
Sir.
And your goals for the season? Team goals, personal goals?
Team goals, just win state. And then personal goals, just be the best I can be. Get some lead some records. Get some records.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
What do you want to do after high school?
College football.
Are you in the recruiting process?
Yes, sir. I'm committed to Arkansas State right now.
Committed to Arkansas State. Very good.
Yes, sir.
Why? Why did you choose them?
Just felt like a good fit for me right now, and it just felt like a good fit. And I like the coaching staff, I like the area, I like the facilities, and yeah.
Favorite class in school?
Favorite class in school? Forensic science.
Why?
It's like kind of crime, and it gets me more involved, I guess, and I pay more attention.
Good.
And yeah.
Good.
Yes, sir.
And after football's over, what do you want to do?
I want to run my own business. I want to just do my own thing. I don't like working for people. I want to just stay to myself, create a business. I don't know what yet, but get money.
I understand.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
Our offensive player of the game for the season opener against Parkview, wide receiver Jacob Nally. We'll come back and introduce you to our defensive player of the game right after this. First down, Cardinals at the Parkview 49-yard line. And fake the handoff. Shoe back in the pocket. It's going to throw a deep go route to Jacob Nally. Caught. Touchdown, Cardinals.
There you go.
Touchdown, Cardinals from 49 yards out. Now we get some energy in this place. Tie the ball game up. 49-yard throw and catch. Noah Schuback, you have your first ever Melissa Cardinal touchdown pass. First ever state of Texas touchdown pass moving here from the state of Alabama.
They needed that.
They wins to both sides on second down and long. Schuback, straight drop back, looks to throw, has some time, throws a go route down the left sideline. Jacob Nally with a catch at the 30, and he makes it all the way down to the 20-yard line. Great job, Jacob Nally, number 9, covered by number 9, and he's telling everybody to get going.
Let's go.
He's trying to bring some excitement to the field. Nice throw, nice catch. And we had a flag on the field that was waved off, and now the Cardinals sprint to the line of scrimmage. First and 10, and the chain gang is not sprinting to the line of scrimmage. First and 10, it has Eden Chenamora, the junior, at the running back spot. Ball on the left hash. 2 receivers to the short side. Second and goal. Shotgun. Snap. Throw it. Fade route. Caught. Touchdown, Cardinals.
Yes, sir.
Touchdown, Cardinals. First play of the third quarter.
Nice route right there. Nice time. Nice timing.
Jacob Nye with another big catch. Touchdown, Cardinals. So the only 2 scores of the night are Schuback to Nye touchdown throws. They're down 20-12, and it looks like they're going to. Here we go. Third down, 11. Nye split right, twins left. Fake it to Bear, looking left, now looking right, rolling right. And throws it into the end zone for Nye, who comes down with a touchdown, Cardinals. I think we just found our offensive player of the game, Mr. Sean Lear.
I think we did.
Congratulations to Jacob Nye, one of the earliest decisions we've ever made on offensive player of the game with 9.5 minutes to go in the game, 3 touchdown catches. And the Cardinals have cut it to a 9-point game, 27-18. The senior number 9, Jacob Nye, having a great game tonight. They set up with no backs, 2 wing backs. Now Bear comes in motion, and they're going to go jet sweep fake. Rolling right, throwing it into the end zone. It's going to be caught by guess who?
Jacob Nye.
Jacob Nye. Welcome back to the Cardinal Scoreboard Show. You met our offensive player of the game a moment ago. Now you get to meet our defensive player of the game. Senior defensive back Jake Pusk wears jersey number 8. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It was a tough loss against Parkview.
Yes, sir.
And as we said on the broadcast, they aren't 2-time state champions for nothing. They're a talented team.
Yes, sir.
And they were a good running team.
For sure.
And when a safety's up there with a bunch of tackles, that means they ran the ball well.
Yes, sir.
What did you think going into the game was your game plan on the defensive side?
Well, we knew they wanted to run the ball, and we knew they had a lot of talented players, so we needed to contain them and make sure we tackled good. And there were a couple plays where that didn't happen, and it eventually got us beat. But all in all, I think we played a solid game, and we got to build on it.
So let you pull that mic away just a little bit and tell us the theme or the philosophy for your defense. Because, like they say, defense wins championships. I know you pride yourself as part of that.
Yes, sir.
So what is your defensive philosophy for the Cardinals?
We have to give relentless effort every play, and everybody's got to get the ball, and we got to dominate the team physically. And because we have a tough district this year, we're gonna have to play probably a lot of defense. We're gonna have to play some long games, and we just have to physically dominate the other team.
Now you're a senior. You're one of the leaders on the defense, like a coach on the field.
Yes, sir.
And you've been playing varsity football for a while. So
yes, sir.
What's it like being the older guy now, not the younger guy?
It's nice. I feel like I have a great understanding of the defense and where everyone needs to be, and I know what the linebackers are doing, so I just feel comfortable.
What do you want to do after high school?
Hopefully I can play football somewhere. I'd like to go to college. If not football, then I'll go to college and major in business.
Are you talking to some schools about football?
Yes, sir. Division III right now. I'm hoping D2 and D1 starts to come after this year.
Good. And your favorite class in school?
This year, it's probably environmental science, just because we get to be outside and stuff.
Okay. And what do you want to do when football's all finished?
I don't know. Maybe start a business or something like that.
All right. With Jacob Nally?
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe we'll start one together.
Okay. Well, congratulations to you on being our defensive player of the game for the season opener against Parkview. We'll take a break and come back with Coach Matt Nally right after this.
Mention any names. Here's first down and 10, Parkview at the 40-yard line. Trips left, throwing it left, completing it left, turning the field left. Parkview picks up 4 yards after all that. They threw it in the backfield, caught by Elston. He picks up 4 yards. Trips right. Murphy's going to throw a crossing route, incomplete pass. Brings up third down, stops the clock, 54 seconds to go until halftime. And I imagine we're going to see another one of these pooch kicks here. And we do, to the left side. It's going to be caught, not fair caught, at the 25-yard line. Coming left is Settles, the future Arkansas Razorback, and a good job by the Cardinals coverage unit to stop him.
Welcome back to the Cardinal Scoreboard Show. This is Trey Graham with head football coach Matt Nally as we look forward to Thursday night game. This Thursday, 7 p.m. kickoff at the Star in Frisco. The Melissa Cardinals and the Frisco High School Raccoons, the original Frisco High School. And Saturday night football, then Thursday night football.
Right.
Short week.
Yeah. Normally on game nights, I live about 25 minutes away, and so normally on game nights I'll sleep up here, and so I didn't get to go home until yesterday at 8 o'clock. So I did whatever that math is. I got here at 7:30, whatever it was, on Saturday morning, and I didn't get home until 8 o'clock yesterday night. And I got to thinking about it. I was like, golly, how am I going to inspire these kids? They just fought. They were in a war on Saturday. And then Monday, hey guys, because Monday is more of an installation, kind of a laid back type of day going into Tuesday, which is a heavy day, preparing for that Friday opponent, and thinking, man, golly, what am I going to do? And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to, this is the expectation and the standard. And the kids met it today. We had a great workout today. Not just saying that because we're on the Scoreboard Show. Great workout today. Kids were inspired and fired up, and it was just a really, really good workout. And I was really excited that the kids did that. But you almost kind of feel like you're in the NFL. Like you play that Sunday night game, then you turn around and play again on Thursday. So, but coach is up here working nonstop, getting prepared for it. And it was, like I said, it was an interesting deal. But, we got to think of the silver lining piece of it, too. The silver lining piece. Next week we start district play. So we got an extra day to rest and recover, and we get an extra day to plan and prep. So for us, it's going to be a big deal in that regard. But just super pumped to have the opportunity to go to the Star, play Frisco. They're a playoff team last year in 5A Division I. We've had, I don't want to say a rivalry. I think we won one when they won one or something like that. But that's a good football team. And once again, I don't apologize for playing people like that. And that's who I want to play. And so I'm super excited about it, just to see how the kids kind of, handle adversity a little bit. You come off that great, tough game with Parkview, and then you got to turn around and play right again. So, but really proud of my JV too. My JV played an unbelievable game last week against Lovejoy, and then they have to turn around and play again on Wednesday. The same thing with my freshman squads. So it's just a really good time to be a Melissa Cardinal. So
the game this Thursday, 7 p.m. kickoff in Frisco at the Star. As I mentioned on the broadcast Saturday night, you play 9 out of your 10 games, your first 9 games, all in Collin County.
Yeah.
So nobody is happier than the transportation department.
Yeah.
The gasoline budget
Yes.
is a lot better
Yes.
when you're playing in Collin County.
Yes. We have a lot of kids. You have 252 kids in the program, so we have to take a lot of buses. But But yeah, I mean, when you can drive to Lovejoy or you can drive to Frisco and back,
Instead of
you
Bullard
can't beat that. Yeah.
Mineola,
And a lot of people don't remember those days, but I remember I was the one that drove the bus, or one of the buses, driving to Bullard. Woo, that was rough.
That's when the UIL didn't know where Melissa was. They thought we were in Shreveport back then. All right, but now we are still in Collin County, and our schedule says so. We appreciate that. So talk about the Frisco Raccoons. Talk about this is your second and final non-district game.
Yeah.
So give a little preview of this Thursday night.
Yeah, so, Frisco is a little bit old school in the regard. They're going to run some wing tee stuff, and then they're going to get into their spread set. They're multiple on defense. They're going to be in an even and an odd, and they'll do some different stuff in the back end to disguise some things. And that's why I was really proud of Noah Schuback was within the second half. He started because Parkview did a great job of disguising what they were doing, and he did a great job of kind of deciphering those things within the second half and taking advantage of it. So they do a little bit of the same in the back end, but I'm just really excited to see how our kids play because of the fact of it's always cool to play at the Star, and there's a lot of people like, whatever. I just think it's a cool thing when you get to go in the back, behind the scenes and all those things. It's really amazing, and the kids get to experience that. And it's not the only time we'll get to play in the Star this year. We get to play there twice. So to do this in non-district play, knowing that we have to do it again in district play, for me is an advantage. So I'm really excited about that piece. But
I'm going to interrupt for a second. Part of that is because Melissa's in the district with all the Frisco high schools.
Correct.
Frisco has 3 stadiums that they rotate among.
Right.
With their 11 high schools, 12 high schools.
Like that. Yeah, something crazy.
So that's one of the reasons it's a Thursday night game.
Right.
So we'll have a game later in the year at the Star. We got a game later in the year at the Toyota Center.
Yeah, that is such a cool place
as
too.
The Frisco high schools share all their facilities.
Right.
Go back.
And so it's just a great experience for the kids to be a part of. And once again, like I said, it's an advantage for us to get to play there in a non-district setting. And then the big deal is I know Frisco's in the same mindset. You get an extra day to rest and recover and get ready for district play. So, but it's kind of fun. Coach P's probably going to hate me for this, but me and Coach P talk about, because when I got into coaching, my first head coach was a 70-year-old man. So we're running old school, offset eye, power eye stuff. And so I was raised in that for 3 years. And so we talk about like the good old days of football. And then my first offensive coordinator job, the head coach was like, we're going to be a split back veer team. We're going to be a wing tee with wing tee principles. And so we can have all these conversations like back in the good old days, like, coaching terms like for the offensive line, it was oil on inside linebacker and stuff like that. And but Frisco still does those things. And it's really fun as a football fan to watch it, because when you watch college football nowadays or, Melissa Cardinal football, it's okay, everybody's...
You mean the Black Knights? Big victory in the season opener for Army? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Good.
But, you become a football coach then because you decipher all these things and all this stuff and whatnot, whereas when you get to see a team like a Frisco or an Army or whatever the case may be that's doing old school things, as a football fan, it's really fun, because of it's very, very simple, but it's very, very complicated in its own way. And when it works, like the touchdown that Bear had, it was an old school wing tee play. Old school. We were like, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to put it in. And
sadly called back by penalty.
Yeah, but it was an old school wing tee play. Simple play.
You lined up in the power eye and ran the ball a couple of times.
Yeah, we did. And that's something that when I was the OC, I only did it a few times. But I was like, hey, this is what we're going to be about. And last year I got in the wing tee, and I got in the wing tee kind of to pay homage to Coach Gagrin and that first Melissa squad. I thought it was kind of cool. Coach Kennedale Stadium and whatnot, and they ran the wing tee. So I was like, I'm fixing to pay homage to these guys and do the wing tee. But and we ran some power eye stuff last year with Peanut and things like that. And but we're always going to be in that type of deal, like it's a good short yardage scheme, but also it's a physicality piece too. But once again, I'm a football fan, and that's where football began. Running around at people and things like that. So I enjoy the power eye and stuff like that. But me and Coach P talk about it all the time. We get on that board and, on inside linebacker.
And the young guys just roll their eyes?
Yes. So it's really, really, really fun. But Frisco is like that. And it's really cool and interesting to see. They'll get into it, and then they'll jump into the spread. And there's a lot of coaches out there that want to be that way. They want to say, hey, we're going to get in.
It makes you practice more.
Absolutely. You have to say, oh, my gosh, we got to take this part of the practice and do this. And when we played Salina, we would have to do that because, they were in the dead tee, and we'd have to say, okay, cool, this 10-minute segment is only for the dead tee. And then, okay, this 30-minute segment is for the spread. So, and then they might run the dead tee 5 times a game. But you spent 10 minutes a day working on it. So, but yeah, it's smart. But it's really fun as a football fan to watch Frisco play.
Before we get out of here, we talked about the fact that we're in the 134,200 square foot indoor facility. So just take a second, verbally, can't take them on a tour, just give them a little tour.
Yeah.
What all happens in this big building?
So obviously there's football that goes on, but in this building there's a huddle it's a device that we use for filming and things like that, but we have a huddle focus in here, which is a huddle camera, so that's for band. Anybody that uses this, the dance team, whatever, you can film yourself and you can watch it. But football, soccer, there's
these nets that drop down.
Yeah, this is the
so
baseball.
You can hit baseballs and golf balls.
Baseball, golf, softballs back there. There's a infield for baseball right here. There's an infield for softball back there.
Shot put ring.
Yeah. Well, this is for pass rushing. So all these rings are for pass rushing. But there's a putting green and a chipping green right backside of the indoor. If Duke was here, we would be here for an hour, and Duke could talk about all this stuff for an hour. But it is such an amazing facility just because of the fact of the wet bulbs is a big deal, and a lot of people don't have to deal with, or a lot of people have to deal with the wet bulb. We don't.
That means it's too hot and humid to safely practice.
Correct. So, when it's a wet bulb issue, our kids can move inside, and we don't skip a beat, where some people have to cancel practice or have to go to the gym or whatever the case may be. We don't. We get to practice right at like it's normal. So it's a great facility, and once again, though, it goes back to we had a vision with our administration, and then they worked with the community, and the community for Melissa, and that's what I tell people. They're like, oh, this, that, and another, and I'm like, no, the community is the one that said yes to all these things. The community is kid-centered. The community is kid-first. And so that is why we have all this stuff, because our community is so so positive in the regard of a kid deserves it. And they do. Kids deserve this stuff. And we have so many, like the Parkview people were, he was like, Coach, our facilities are terrible. We don't even have a stadium and all these things. And I'm thinking to myself, golly, they're really good at football, but I'm thinking to myself, man, if people could be more like Melissa and say, you know what, kids deserve these things. We need to protect kids, but also service our kids. And this is a service to our kids. So, I'm extremely proud of it. And, the thing is that's really neat about it is, I made sure to put my name on the beam, when they did all those signatures. I thought that was pretty neat. But seeing it structurally built, when it was just dirt and then they started building, it was such a neat thing. And I'm kind of obsessed with construction anyways, like just how humans can build stuff, and build something like this, I don't even know if I knew how to, bolt in one of these things, but it's just so amazing in that piece of it. So, truly blessed.
Thanks for joining us on this edition of the Cardinal Scoreboard Show. We go on the road every week, and we're in the Championship Center. This is the indoor football practice, the freshmen practicing behind us right now. Congratulations again to Jake Nally and Jake Pusk for being our offensive and defensive players of the game. Thank you once more to Seth and Jamie Tilley of Cardinal Carriers Express for being the sponsor of tonight's broadcast. You're invited to join us at First Melissa every Sunday morning. Go to firstmelissa.com to find out more. We will see you Thursday night, 7 p.m. kickoff at the Star. For Coach Matt Nally, this is Trey Graham for the Cardinal Scoreboard Show saying good night from Melissa, Texas.